Last night, some epic shit happened, and I hope you didn't miss it. I'm talking about Dame Lillard. Not only 50 points, not only 10 contested tough threes. I felt like every minute he was looking at the ref like, nigga, where the foul at? But the last shot, one of the greatest shots I've ever witnessed in the playoffs, as far as the severity, the significance. When you hit a jumper to oust a team, which Dame has now done twice, yeah, that demoralizes a whole unit of motherfuckers, and it lifts the spirits of a whole unit of motherfuckers. So the level of a game winner like that is just on a whole different magnitude. I would only compare Jordan shit, because he was about to get eliminated, Game 7, and the other Dame one, where it was 3-2 in a series versus the Rockets. But this one, man, tough shot. I want to talk about not only his performance, which was legendary, but I want to talk about the shot itself. You got PG saying it was a bad shot. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care what anybody say it was a bad shot. It's debatable. And I'm here to give you my take on whether or not I think it was a bad shot. What else am I going to talk about? Russell Westbrook versus Dame Lillard. Prominent debate right now, and would make perfect sense seeing that they just had a series together, and they're both very comparable in stature, position, and it just makes sense to compare these niggas without giving slight to either or, because they're both great. And I want to exclude myself from being totally in the moment, because the moment I just witnessed, most people right now is going to be like, Dame is better. You know what I'm saying? Well, a year ago, most people was going to be like, Westbrook better. You know what I'm saying? After Dame's performance. So I'm trying not to be immersed in specific moments and just gauge them overall. And that's what I'm going to go right now. As far as Dame and Russell Westbrook, they're both big guards. They're both score-first guards, in my opinion. But the most notable thing for me is the shooting. When it comes down to hoops, man, if you can put the ball in the hoop, you're going to always have sustainability. And Westbrook, early in his career, you've seen the athleticism be immaculate, but when you lack that ability to shoot, or you lack a certain skill set, you're not provided as much opportunities to get what you're used to getting. And them shots ain't falling in them tough situations. When you can shoot, you can do shit like, shit, let me sidestep this nigga. Let me take a sidestep back 38-footer and let me end this shit. When all else fails, I can whack you out. So shooting, you got Dame Lillard easily. Scoring is tough. Scoring is tough. I would take Dame Lillard because he is the better shooter, and his finishing ability isn't like nowhere near Russell Westbrook. I mean, they both don't finish that well as far as touch at the rim. They both lack left hands. I think this is something that should be duly noted, because when you talk about tier 1 players like Steph and Kyrie, they don't have these glaring deficiencies like the left hand. That's very notable in Russ and Dame's game, you feel me? So the left hand defense, I would give it to Russ Westbrook. Russ Westbrook, always a highly intense player, willing to guard the better players. Dame Lillard also willing to guard better players, but he hasn't shown as much defensive prowess as a Russell Westbrook. So defense, I got Russ. Clutch, you know what time it is. And though Russ is clutch, I'm not going to say he's not clutch. Russell is clutch as well. It's just the decision-making ability, his choices. I'm not willing to live with that in those situations. His mind state is kill, and his mentality is never give up and always have that fighter's mentality. So the mindset is there. It's just the execution ain't always there. Whereas Dame in the clutch, I've seen it too many times. It's always Dame time when it matters. Even before the shot, You got the layup with 30 seconds to get the 2-for-1. You got multiple threes under. It was down like 14 with like 6 minutes left. You're leading the comeback. This all constitutes as clutch to me. So, clutch, I got Dame. Athleticism, I got Russell Westbrook. So, you start balancing it out. You see it's a pretty good debate. It's tough to call. I'd say attacking the rim, I would give to Westbrook by a slight, but at the same breath, I would give ball handling to Dame Lillard by a slight. They both, to me, have somewhat shaky ball handles, just considering that their left hand isn't as prolific as their right. Whereas Steph and Kyrie, sometimes you can't notice the difference when they dribble. If you force Russ and Dame left, you're going to see something semi-awkward. You know what I'm saying? So, handles, I got Dame by a slight. Off-ball work, they both don't play it that well, but you can run Dame off picks. You can't run Russ off the picks for a jumper. That's not really his game, a la LeBron James. Dame can run off the picks. So, off-ball Dame, on-ball, it's close. Russell Westbrook's a better driver and I guess drive and dish type guy. He passes to get the assist more so often. So on ball, I would say he dictates the game predominantly on ball. So I would give it to Russ slightly. But Dame on ball is great because his pick and roll to me is better. Off that pick, you better not leave him alone. You better pick him up. So pick and roll, I will have Dame. ISO, I will have Russ. Post game, I will have Russ. So it's tough. It's a tough call. I would say at their heights, at their pinnacle, I would take Russ because what he brought to the table was a highly intense form and style of play and a level of play which we equate to Mamba mode. Whereas Dame, his highest level to me might be right now. So that MVP Russ and that Dame, that's a good comparison. I would say slightly Russ in that aspect, but right now is Dame Lillard to me. I feel like he's in the prime of his career. Russell Westbrook is on the deterrence of his shit, that athleticism losing, but just overall, both at their peaks, because of Russ's defensive prowess, because of his high intensity, I would say when he had that MVP year, he was the best of all versions of Dame Lillard and Russell Westbrook. And this Dame is probably second, you know what I'm saying? But Dame probably still got some ascending to do. Right now, I think Dame is better, but overall, that's a tough call. It's either or for me right now. I think they're both 1B as far as point guards, 1A being Chef and Kyrie. That's just my bias to skill and what you lack and what you don't lack. But yeah, other categories, passing. They both, if you notice, they both aren't great passers. They both are okay, good point guard passers, but they're not great passers, in my opinion, score first players. So it's debatable. I don't know who you got. It's real tough for me. Some days it's Dame, some days it's Russ. When Russ make them bonehead plays, it's Dame. When Dame struggle to get to the rack and struggle or is excessively shooting threes, just jacking shit up, it's Russ. You know what I'm saying? When Chris Paul posting Dame in, I think Russ, you know what I'm saying, it's better. But when Russ being lazy over committing, you think Dame. It's just a lot of differences. So who you got? Another thing about the video, the bad shot. Was it a bad shot? Do you care? Or you don't care what nobody say like Paul George or not? For me, a bad shot is dependent on two things. Where you shoot it from and who's shooting it. More importantly, who's shooting that motherfucker. Damian Lillard can hit from 38. You know this. Steph Curry can hit from 38. So the range is a factor, but the player that's shooting supersedes that factor. That's a good shot for Steph Curry if he's wide open from 38 to me. For Dame Lillard if he's wide open to me. For Kevin Garnett, that's a bad shot. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, that's a good shot. And watching and seeing the shit transpire, I'm like, he's in range on 4-3, and motherfucker go at 6, 7, 5 if they finna attack. He went at 2, so you knew he was pulling. In my head, I was like, oh, he's pulling. He has no sense of urgency. Step back, and it's going in. I felt it was going in too. That's just, like I said, the type of player constitutes whether or not it's a bad shot, in my opinion. But 10-30, who's better right now? I got Dame. Who's better at their apex? I got Russ. Both great players. This is not a slight to nobody. We got to learn to compare motherfuckers without slander or without negating or debunking them as a talent. You feel me? So yeah, I got Dame right now. Russ back then. Who you got? Thoughts, comments. Subscribe to Dame's World. You know what to do. Was it a bad shot? I don't think so. Peace.